Om Shanti. This is the Avyakt Murli of 17th of April, 1984, and the title is The Signs of Those Who Are Multi-Million Times Fortunate. Today, the Father, the bestower of fortune, is looking at all his fortunate children. Every Brahmin soul is a fortunate soul. To become a Brahmin means to become fortunate. To belong to God means to become fortunate. All are fortunate. But after belonging to the Father and receiving the inheritance of the different treasures from the Father, you become number-wise in claiming a right to that elevated inheritance and using that in your life of all rights, and in constantly increasing those rights you have received with the right method to bring about expansion. Some just remain fortunate and others become 100 times fortunate. Some become 1,000 times fortunate. Some become 100,000 times fortunate. And some become multi-million times fortunate because to use the treasures with the right method means to increase them. Whether you use them to make yourself complete, or whether with the completion of the self, you use them to serve other souls. Perishable wealth diminishes as you use it. Imperishable wealth increases multi-million times as you use it. This is why there is the saying, spend it and eat from it. The more you spend and eat from it, the more prosperous the Father, the Emperor of all emperors, will make you. This is why those who use their treasures of the fortune they have received in service will continue to move forward. To be multi-million times fortunate means to be one who accumulates an income of multi-millions at every step, and as a multi-million time server, to use your every thought, word, action, and connection in service. One who is multi-million times fortunate is constantly generous-hearted and a great donor eternally and constantly. They would be a bestower who constantly gives to others. Such a soul would not be a server according to the program or facilities, but a constant great donor. If they don't serve through words, they would be serving through their thoughts and actions, through their connections and relationships, and with one or another method, they would be a constant server through their unending and constant treasures. There would be different forms of service, but the wave of service would constantly continue. A multi-million times fortunate soul would always be seated on a lotus seat. That is, they would always be in the stage of a lotus flower. They would be detached from the attractions of the limited and detached from accepting limited fruit, and so would be loved by the Father, the Brahmin family, and the world. Such elevated server souls are constantly offered flowers of happiness by everyone with love from their heart. Bap Dada himself offers flowers of love to such constant server, multi-million times fortunate souls. Multi-million times fortunate souls, through their sparkling star of fortune, give other souls light to make them fortunate. Bapdada was seeing such fortunate souls, whether they are far or personally in front of Baba. They are constantly merged in the Father's heart. This is why those who are equal remain close. Now, ask yourself what type of fortunate soul you are. You can know yourself, can you not? You may or may not accept something when others tell you, but you yourself can know what type of soul you are. Do you understand? Nevertheless, Bapdada says, at least you have become fortunate from being those without fortune. You will at least become free from the many types of sorrow and suffering. You will at least become the masters of heaven. One is to go to heaven, and the other is to claim a right to the kingdom. All of you will go to heaven, but ask yourself, when and where will you come in heaven? Your name has already been written in Bapdada's list for going to heaven. This is better than those of the rest of the world. However, it is not the best of all. So, what will you do? Which zone will claim number one? Each zone has its own specialty. What is the specialty of Maharashtra? Do you know? You are great anyway. But what is the specialty that is remembered of you? Ganesh is worshipped a great deal in Maharashtra. What is Ganesh also called? The destroyer of obstacles. Whenever people begin a task, they first say salutations to Ganesh. So, what will those from Maharashtra do? You will invoke Sri Ganesh in every great task, will you not? Maharashtra means the state of those who are constantly the destroyers of obstacles. So always be a destroyer of obstacles and show this greatness for the self and for others. There shouldn't be any obstacles in Maharashtra. Everyone become destroyers of obstacles. It comes and salutes you from a distance. So, you have brought a group of such destroyers of obstacles, have you not? Maharashtra has to constantly show this greatness of itself to the world. You are not those who are afraid of obstacles, are you? You are the destroyers of obstacles who challenge others. In any case, Maharashtra shows a lot of bravery. Acha, what wonders will those from UP show? What is the specialty of UP? There are many pilgrimage places and many rivers there. All the Jagat Gurus are also there. There are 4 Jagat Gurus in the 4 corners, are there not? There are many Mahamandleshwaras in UP. The doorway to Haridwar is special in UP. So there should be many servers in UP who show the doorway to Hari, God. That is, those who show the door to go close to God. Because UP is a pilgrimage place, there are many guides there. They are those who eat and drink, but you are the spiritual server guides who show the true path, who celebrate a meeting with the Father and who bring others close to the Father. Are there such special Pandavas who are the guides in UP? UP has to practically reveal its form of the Pandavas as being the guides. Do you understand? What is the specialty of Mysore? There is sandalwood there and also special gardens there. So those from Karnataka have to especially become constant spiritual roses and fragrant sandalwood. Spread the fragrance of sandalwood and of spiritual roses and make the world into a garden. Spread the fragrance of sandalwood in the world. Give the tilak of sandalwood and make everyone fragrant and cool. Sandalwood is also cool, so the maximum number of spiritual roses will emerge from Karnataka. Will they not? This means to show the practical proof. Now everyone has to show the practical form of their own specialty. You have to bring the maximum fragrant spiritual roses that are in full bloom. You have brought them. Some of you have brought them, but you haven't brought a bouquet. Acha? Baba has related a lot of praise of abroad. The specialty of abroad is that you become very detached and also very attached. Seeing the loving detachment of the children from abroad, Bab Dada is pleased. That life has now become the past. To the extent that you were trapped, to that extent you have now become detached. This is why Bab Dada loves the detachment and the lovingness of those from abroad. This is why Bab Dada is also giving special love and remembrance. Your specialty has become merged in you, has it not? You are so detached and loving, are you not? You don't have attachment, do you? Nevertheless, those from abroad have come home as guests, and so the guests are always kept at the front. This is why the people of Bharat have special happiness on seeing those from abroad. There are some who come as guests and remain as hosts. This has always been the activity of those from abroad. They come as a guest and remain as hosts. They have nevertheless broken many barriers and come to the Father. And so, you would say, you first, would you not? In any case, Bharat has its own specialty and Brad has its own specialty. Acha, to all the multi-million times fortunate souls who are seated on the lotus seat, to those who are constant servers at every second and in every thought, to the master bestowers who constantly give all treasures with a generous heart, to those who make others complete through their own completion, to those who have a right to the elevated fortune, to the worthy children who constantly give the elevated proof, Bab Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. To the residents of Punjab, the Father is sitting here, and so there is no need for you to think of anything. Whatever happens will be benevolent. You belong to everyone. You are neither Hindus nor Sikhs. You belong to the Father, and so you belong to everyone. In Pakistan too, they used to say that you are the people who belong to God. You don't have a connection with anything. This is why you belong to God and not to anyone else. No matter what happens, you are not those who become afraid. No matter how much fire there is, the kittens will remain safe. However, only those who are yogyukt will remain safe. It shouldn't be that you say that you belong to the Father and you remember someone else. Such souls will not receive help. Don't be afraid. Don't have fear, but continue to move forward. Move forward in the pilgrimage of remembrance, in your dharana and in your study, in all subjects. The more you move forward, the more easily you will continue to attain. Do all of you consider yourselves to be special actors in this world drama? Can you see your pictures of the previous cycle now? This is the wonder of Brahman life. Always remember this specialty, what you were and what you have become. You have become worth diamonds from shells. You have come into the world of happiness from the world of sorrow. All of you are the hero, heroine actors of this drama. Each of you, Brahma Kumars and Kumaris, are messengers who will give the Father's message. The messengers who give God's message are so elevated. So, you have incarnated always to carry out this task. You have come down below from up above to give this message. This awareness will give you happiness. Simply always remember this occupation of yours. You are the masters of the mine of happiness. This is your title. Do you constantly experience yourselves to be the elevated, confluence-aged Brahman souls? The true Brahman means those who constantly give the true Father's true introduction. The duty of Brahmins is to tell religious stories. You don't tell religious stories, but you give the true introduction. Always have the intoxication that you are the Brahmin souls who give the true introduction of the true Father. Brahmins are even more elevated than the deities. This is why they show the place of Brahmins to be the top knot. The Brahmins with the top knot means those who remain in an elevated stage. By remaining high, everything down below will be very small. Then nothing will seem a big thing. When you are sitting up above, the things down below appear to be very small. When you find a problem to be something big, the reason is that you are seeing it while sitting down below. If you look at it from up above, you won't have to labor. So, always remember that you are the Brahmins with the top knot. Through this, even the big problems will become small in a second. You are not those who are afraid of the problems, but those who find a solution to the problems and overcome them. Acha, blessing. May you be an embodiment of happiness and be one who becomes cry-proof by drying up your well of tears in the heat of yoga. Some children say that they cry because so-and-so is causing them sorrow. However, even if they are giving sorrow, why do you take it? Their duty is to give, but don't take it. The children of God can never cry. Your crying has stopped. There is neither the crying of the eyes nor the crying of the mind. Where there is happiness, there will be no crying. Shedding tears of happiness and love is not called crying. So dry your well of tears in the heat of yoga. Consider the obstacles to be a gain, and you will become an embodiment of happiness. Slogan: if you have the practice of playing your part As a detached observer, you will automatically remain beyond tension and pay attention. Om Shanti.